Brits offers the Batman Forever
Express, Canadian Airlines, AT&T, and Delta, Chelsea, Toronto.
Hootie and the Blowfish. I only want to be with you.
On Sony, GE, RCA, World.
Dale. Eso fue para el Pito Wilson, brujería. Bueno, el Rayo de Morelia acaba de llamar aquí. Quiso saludar a toda la audiencia, todos 5 de ustedes. Pero también me llamó con un poco de información que sí me olvidé antes. Y eso es que Tijuana no va a tocar este viernes. Creo que empieza como a las 7 de la tarde ahí en el Berkeley Square. So, para ustedes que les gusta el rock en español deben ir. Y más que eso, dice que hay también un show gratis de punk hoy en el Trocadero con varios mundos.
I don't think anybody should be allowed to own the airwaves. I think that's really fucked up that you have to, I mean, to get your own station in the first place, you have to pay like $5,000 or $10,000 or something for a license from the FCC. And with pirate radios, which are popping up all over the place, there's quite a number of them just around this area even, you know, and people just taking it back.
I prefer not using the term pirate radio. I mean, free radio or rebel radio, guerrilla radio, whatever you want, but yeah, I feel pirate is sort of pejorative. The FCC uses to say that you're stealing something that doesn't belong to you. Whereas, as a matter of fact, we're actually taking back that which belongs to everyone, the airwaves. We see it as a commons that everyone should share.
Be prepared. You know, you don't have the most sophisticated equipment, but it'll do the job to like facilitate the voice and like the music that I think people really want to hear, as opposed to like just commercial, you know, like commercial music or narrow-minded like programs that pretty much control the airwaves through the FCC.
Rodio Libre, because a lot of people who are involved with Food Not Bombs in San Francisco were also involved with getting Radio Libre started and with doing shows, and so we've just heard some of the shows on the radio and then just got involved that way.
I first found out about Radio Libre just from seeing stencils on the ground in the neighborhood and, you know, graffiti, things like that more than anything. Because there's more and more monopolies when it comes to the media, and the kind of information that gets to us is very distorted or is not there at all. And it's getting worse and worse, just like with everything in our society. And basically the most important aspect of pirate radio is to put the media back in the hands of the community and to provide music, information, cultural things, what have you, that you normally would never find in commercial radio or commercial media in general.
Information is so controlled in this society, and it's so narrowly, the spectrum of ideas and influences and opinions that are available for people to receive, whether it be from the television or the radio or whatever, it's such a narrow spectrum that by doing micropower radio, you're directly confronting that narrow spectrum and the interests that it represents and the way that corporations or capitalism or any power structure is able to use information to reproduce itself. And so the micropower radio is directly confronting that as well, as making a serious attempt to build a community.
And the name of the show that I do is the Sacri-Chingo Show, which is sort of half sacrificio, which means sacrifice, and chingar, which means something else. Basically, it's trying to bring music that normally would never get onto commercial radio, namely modern music like rock, ska, punk, what have you, anything, but that's from all over Latin America, mostly in Spanish. And another thing we like to do is bring information too that you normally wouldn't get on commercial radio. So we have themes every week, and we try to always consistently do it in both English and Spanish. We've had ones on, for example, the youth curfew that the mayor proposed for San Francisco. We've had some on the Mexican-American War, how the U.S. gained a lot of its territories. Last week I did one on the role of the IMF and World Bank and just the U.S. role in the Mexican economic crisis. We do a lot of stuff, especially also for immigrants, and especially Latin American immigrants, letting them know their rights and so forth. So we try to appeal to the population that's here, that's in our community.
It'd be great if it eventually got to the point where, like with the Black Liberation Radio, where people are talking about their experiences of police brutality in the community, or if they're attacked by the police, they're calling in the radio station to have it broadcast over the air. It would be great if it got to a point where anytime people were threatened or attacked by the police or experienced any sort of harassment from authority figures in the Mission District, that people knew that they could call Radio Libre to talk about what happened to them over the airwaves and let the community know and build solidarity that way. So that's something that I think needs to be strived for, but it's definitely something that's a potential.
It's kind of funny. I mean, being a pirate radio, you kind of be out there going, this is where we are. You know, I wish we could do that. That's what we need to do. You know, like, hey, we're around the corner, man. We're right in the Mission. This is the address. Come through, stop by, man. You know, that's what we. I don't know. You know, we just gotta figure out what to do with this whole FCC shit. You know, like saying you can't only do this here and do that there, and you have to pay us for a license. And
for some reason, the FCC got